Now, one of the major narratives that is pushed by First, Second Amendment gun owners, or Second Amendment gun owners, is the fact that guns save lives. The fact of the argument, and this is something that Trump has just recently said about the synagogue shooter, for example, that if there was an actual armed guard there, he could have possibly stopped the shooter. Well, interestingly enough, we do actually have evidence to back up that claim, when you have an Alabama McDonald's gunman killed by an armed dad who is injured in the shootout. So at the end of the day, we'll go through the story. Well, we'll play the video in this one and we'll give you all the facts. So let's jump into it. So a brave dad armed with a pistol stopped what could have been a mass shooting Saturday inside the Alabama McDonald's when he took down a masked gunman who has stormed in and opened fire. The unidentified father was leaving the establishment with his son when a masked man walked into the Birmingham fast food restaurant and started shooting. WBRC TV reported. The father returned fire and during and ensuring the shootout, the gunman and the father and one of the man's teenage sons were struck, according to the station. The gunman, who was not identified, later died of his injuries, good riddance, and the other two injuries were not considered life-threatening. Marcus Washington, one of the McDonald's employees, told WBRC TV he was making 2 quarter-pounders when the bullet started flying. Washington said he ran into the freezer where he heard about 15 shots fired. Quote, "I'm feeling grateful," he told the station, "wrapping my head around it all. It was just wishing someone would come wake me up from this nightmare." Washington feared the worst as the shots unfolded outside the freezer door. Quote, "All we hear is different gunfire, so in my mind I'm imagining everybody is dead. He's looking for us," he said. Washington added that he was thankful the armed customer was there. Quote, "Here's my hero because I can only imagine it would have gone if he wasn't armed. We might not be here having this interview," Washington said. The father is not expected to face charges, police said. Authorities now working to determine if the gunman intended to rob the restaurant, was targeting an employee, or planned something more nefarious. Things like this are difficult for both families. The gunman, who unfortunately lost his life, it's not unfortunate if you ask me, but anyway, the teenage boy who is in the hospital recovering from his injuries, and his father, who are also recovering from his injuries. Birmingham Police spokesman Sergeant Brian Chute said, according to WVTM 13, quote, "It's not easy being a father and watching your child get injured. Getting hurt like that is really heart-wrenching experience." So look, at the end of the day, we do have the video on this. We will play that for you now, and then we'll give you my view.
I'm feeling grateful, wrapping my head around it all. I was just wishing somebody to come wake me up, from this nightmare.
A nightmare that could have ended a lot worse for Marcus Washington and his co-workers here at the McDonald's on Lom Avenue.
Yes, I was making 2 quarter-pounders and, heard 3 shots ring, and then exchanged a gunfire, 2 more.
That exchange between a masked gunman and an armed customer who was leaving the restaurant with his sons at the time. Birmingham police say the masked man started shooting inside the restaurant. That's when the father began shooting at him. Meanwhile, Washington and one other employee hid in the freezer.
Because all we hear is different gunfire. So I'm, in my mind, imagining everybody dead. He looking for us.
Police say both the father and the masked man were hit, along with one of the children. The gunman later dying from his injuries. Washington and other workers now thankful that customer was there at that exact moment.
He my hero, because I can only imagine how it would have went if he wasn't armed. We might not be here having this interview.
So you see in the video there, quite a brave thing to do, actually. And look, I don't know. I reckon the father get a bravery award. He God knows what would have happened if he hadn't been there. If this father hadn't manned up, so to speak, and opened fire on this armed guard, everybody in that McDonald's could have been dead. You don't know how bad this could have gone. Imagine if the gunman had come in 10 minutes later. Who knows what would have happened. So yeah, look, props to the dad for being a responsible gun owner actually having a concealed carry and actually carrying with him. And yeah, anti-Second Amendment gun owners, gun controllers, or whatever you want to call yourselves, what's the argument for this? You know, if he didn't have the gun in the first place, he wouldn't have killed. No, they just still do. If you ban firearms, you don't ban them from criminals. Criminals, by general, will break the law to do what they want, including getting a firearm. All you do is you remove the firearms from the legal gun owners. Trust me, from someone who was a legal firearm owner who had to hand in his guns because of Australian gun control laws. And at the end of the day, full props to this dad for manning up, so to speak. And look, I hope him and his son are very, very happy and live a very long and helpful life. And guys, if there's a GoFundMe or something for this father or this kid, let me know about it. Obviously, I'll check it out to make sure it's legit. But I imagine there's something for that. I might even try and look into something for it and then try and see if I can find it. And I'll put a link in the description below. I imagine the Conservatives are running a GoFundMe for this dad and his kid. But yeah, look, full props to the guy, the dad. I'm sorry to hear about your kid getting hit. But yeah, at least it's not life-threatening. And sorry you got hit, obviously. And congratulations, man. If you do see this video, you are a hero. And I think the Alabama? I think Alabama should be giving you a medal or some sort of award. But guys, let me know your thoughts are in the comment section below. Where do you stand? Do you stand with the pro-gun owners or the pro-gun control? Do you think that this banning firearms would have stopped this shootout, or do you think that it would have just stopped the father from being able to return fire like he did? Do you think that criminals will still go through and break the law getting firearms when they're illegal? Or do you think they're going to be all law-abiding citizens all of a sudden and not go and get firearms? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. If this video has been helpful, please smack a like. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, guys, I'll see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube. Have a great night and enjoy.